welcome back to the channel. 2020, it's been an interesting year. This is going to be a little bit of a talking video, nothing too special. Gonna do a 2020 rewind, talk about what we did, show some clips, show some pictures, the whole 9 yards. If it's not your thing, I get it, move on. So I get asked about the Vette periodically. I got it for a pretty good price for Vette in Southern California. It was in such bad shape that my dad asked me 3 simple questions. Does it start? No. Does it roll? No. Does it crank over? No. Then why am I here? When you look at the car, you'll understand this doesn't do justice. Wiring was completely hacked. The interior was trashed. The outside was trashed. The price was right. That's the only reason I bought it. The first year I owned it, I largely put all my time into doing the drivetrain and the suspension, all new bushings, working out a lot of issues within the car just to make sure the car is solid. At the end of 2019, I stopped running into issues, got it all dialed in, and started looking for more power. So originally I was going to put aluminum heads on the numbers matching block that came in the Vette. When I pulled the heads off, I realized that we had dome pistons and there was a little bit of scoring on the cylinder wall. And it was bored 60 over. Not an ideal power plant for a high horsepower 350 or 383. It was also a 2-bolt main and the number matching block, so I didn't really want to blow it up. This got me looking into upgrading to a 383. As for picking a 350 over a 383, I already had to buy the full rotating assembly, so the cost difference between a 383 and a 350 is only a couple bucks. So in February of 2020, we finally had all the parts figured out. Knew we were going to build a 383, roughly 500 and something horsepower. Wasn't exactly sure all the details, so I created this channel, started making YouTube videos, mainly just time lapses of the original engine going together. Nothing spectacular, nothing interesting, just sat there and worked my ass off putting that engine together. Unfortunately, once I got the engine all completed and I was planning on taking her to the drag races, that was right around March, middle of March, which is when COVID started. All the tracks shut down and pretty much left me with a car that I really wanted to drive and had nowhere to go. In order to fix this problem, a few of my friends and family that were pretty close to me that I was still seeing even in the times of COVID, decided to throw them in the car and do some ride-alongs to try to scare the piss out of them. Naturally, it worked. Got a couple of really good reactions. Got some people who did very well, kept their composure, and got some people who just thought it was nothing. That's why I need more horsepower. Moving through to the year, we went into August. In August, the tracks started to open. Once the tracks were open, we were able to go and beat the shit out of the Vette. Instantly realized I had a huge issue with wheel hop. I put the drag Vette 6-link in part to try to reduce the wheel hop. It has half shaft safety loops, gives me the ability to run slicks. While installing that, I realized that the nose bushing on the differential was completely shot. That was probably a good portion of my wheel hop. Since replacing that, upgrading the shocks, putting in a reinforcement kit on the cross member, all of that stuff resulted in my latest runs to have 0 wheel hop. My goal at the beginning of the year was to get down into the 7 seconds. The last time I took the car out, we got down to, I believe, 7.8. I believe this current setup, if I were to really drive it like I stole it from the start, I believe we can get down into the mid-7s. The only time I ran it on slicks, that was right before the tracks closed again. I took it very easy in the 60 foot. I didn't want to break anything. I drove the car there. I wanted to be able to drive it home. On the upcoming videos, I was planning on towing it to the track. That way we could really push it out of the hole, and if something breaks, and I tow it home. It's not a big deal. So that's about where we left off on 2020. The end of the year, I kind of went MIA, admittedly. Year end is real busy. I own a business. We have to close out our books. We have to wrap up all of our projects. On top of that, family events and whatnot. So the end of the year, I didn't make that many videos. I still recorded some stuff, and we'll be getting through that here shortly. So what are my plans for 2021? Well, to start, I have a backlog of some videos, maintenance and different projects on the vette. I want to get through those, get them off my laptop. I have another Rhino out in the Sierra Nevadas video to release. I might do a Glamis video on New Year's. We'll see. I only had a helmet cam, so I'm not sure how that's going to turn out. So realistically, the first few videos are going to be me working on the vette and getting you guys caught up to where the vette is today. I also have some new parts I need to install on the vette before we can take it drag racing again. I had two major issues. One major issue is running slicks. The engine was torquing over enough with the energy suspension engine mounts that it was getting into my steering. That's no bueno. The other issue I was having is on deacceleration. I was losing oil pressure. I have a deep oil pan I need to put in, and I have a solid engine mount I'm going to put in on the driver's side. Those two will fix those issues so I can safely take the vette back out. So what are my plans with the vette moving forward? I would like to dial in the vette. I believe I can get it into 750s range as it sits with the power, the tranny, the diff, everything it has now. I'd like to put a dash in it, clean it up a little bit because it's still terrible on the inside. The two things that are going to slow me down will be the engine is pretty much maxed out. I can't add any power adders to that block, can't really do much to that. So that leaves me upgrading to an LS or a big block. Probably going to go LS, but who knows. The other issue is I'm running 355 gears. In order to drop it down to something more suitable for drag racing, I need a overdrive. Otherwise I can't street drive the vehicle, and I'm not going to do anything to take away from the street drivability of the vette. I love driving it on the street and plan on doing it, and going to keep doing it until I can. That doesn't mean at a later date I might be okay with converting it to a full-blown race car, but at this time I want to keep it on the street. I do have an LS block. I was thinking if I was going to do an LS, I was going to do a budget build, put some GT45 turbos on it, and just do a rebuild on the 5.3 truck engine I have and run it till it blows, send it. So what would be a good goal for 2021? Well, I think 7.5 is easily obtainable. I think getting into the low 7s, 7.2, 7.3 would be a good goal if I don't upgrade the drivetrain or the engine. If I upgrade those, I would love to see a 6, a high 6. That's going to be hard to do, but I think the car is more than capable of doing it. As for the channel, what are my plans? Well, it's going to be a combination of working on the vette, racing the vette, going to Glamis, going to the Sierra Nevadas, hitting some of the trails out there, and overall just some of the fun and shenanigans that I tend to have. Another big goal of the channel this year is to get more in touch with you guys. I'd like to be able to do some suggested videos based on what you guys are asking, maybe some Q&As, things like that. If you guys have any questions about the vette, I tend to be very active in the comment section, so leave them down below. If you have any suggestions for the channels, things you'd like to see, I do plan on being a lot more regular than the end of the year. At the end of the year, again, work gets pretty tied up. So the beginning of this year, I do plan on pumping out a lot of videos. I'm hoping to get a video out every week. Don't hold me to that because I do work a ton. Well, in closing, I'm hoping for a strong 2021. I know with politics and COVID, the world can feel like a strange place sometimes, but if you really go out there and you interact with people and you get off the internet, it's actually still a beautiful place. On that note, we'll catch you on the next one.